Hello, everyone. This is Asha Saxena. I welcome you all to the CDO Magazine interview. I am the founder and CEO of Women Leaders in Data and AI. We are partnering today with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in the series of interviews. I have the pleasure of talking with a dear friend, a colleague, Wendy Lawhead, Director Enterprise Analytics at McKesson, and a fellow WLDA member. Wendy, welcome to the interview and such an interesting topic in the conversation.
Yes, yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's definitely generative AI is the topic of choice right now. So I'm glad to have this conversation with you.
I was talking at another organization last week about this topic. Anywhere I get invited now to talk about, I think generative AI and ChatGPT is the talk of town because I feel like the consumers now are holding and touching and feeling AI like never before. And you know what? I think the important part is before we jump into this conversation is really understanding what artificial intelligence is. And everybody when they're talking about artificial intelligence are kind of confused about data science, data analytics, and just a big frame of what artificial intelligence is. And to me, what I say when people ask me what artificial intelligence is, and I say that when machines can act like human intelligence, they can problem solve, they can predict, they can categorize, they can learn from the data that's given to the machine and produce the output. And data science, analytics, data engineering, all are the framework. Deep learning, machine learning are all the foundation and the elements of artificial intelligence. So when organizations are saying we're launching AI initiative, it could be any piece of that. I'm going to pause there, Wendy. If somebody asks you what is artificial intelligence, what would you say?
First of all, I'm going to say it's not to replace humans because that's usually the first misconception. It's using data. It's creating ways to augment human decision making, and that's what it really comes down to. It's learning how to see patterns in data and trying to build tools that'll help improve our quality of life with all of the different aspects of our business problems that we're addressing every day. So really, I think that's where data science comes in, because it can give us some tools that will make our lives easier and probably help us make some better decisions, hopefully. So
I love what you said. It's not replacing human. I think that's the biggest worry when we talk about AI is that, oh my God, the AI is going to run the world. And I talk about there are four categories of artificial intelligence. The first one is reactive machines. They're really reacting to the data that's fed to them, so historical data. So they look at the historical data and they predict, like Netflix. A recommendation engine is a really great reactive machine, artificial intelligence. But limited memory is really where when you're looking at the data and what you're doing is having some kind of reaction to what you're looking at. So ChatGPT or generative AI comes into limited memory, artificial intelligence. And rightly so, what you said when you said it's not to replace humans, really how you engage with the data. So when you talk about engaging with the data, why do you think suddenly generative AI or ChatGPT or OpenAI has created this long buzz, even though this has been in research and AI has been around forever? Why do you feel that suddenly this has created such a everybody by a shock?
yeah, so unlike other types of AI, which was supervised or unsupervised learning, the generative AI is focused on making predictions or finding patterns with existing data, but generating information to help create new data and like synthetic data, and that's really what it comes down to. So it will help us learn from patterns and structures and generate new content, which was never really the focus before. Before, it was focused on making predictions and trying to help make better decisions. Now we're generating new information and providing ways to make business problems addressable with like augmented tools. So if you want to create, let's say, a letter, and you said, hey, I want to create a letter that has these elements, this tool will provide you in a conversational format something for you to start with. Now, again, it doesn't replace the human from making decisions on what you're going to use, but it's supposed to be helping you make save you some time. Really, that's what it comes down to.
Exactly. And the fascination of ChatGPT, I love when people say it's wrong or it's not giving you the right feedback and they get so excited they caught the machine to do something wrong. But as you said, it's really learning from the data that's been fed to it and creating the new model. And the model might not be accurate. And I think that's the whole point of artificial intelligence. These are models that humans build, and it takes time to be accurate. I love when people talk about AI. It's been around for so long. And the reason AI was not so popular earlier because there was no big data. The whole era of big data has created the structured and unstructured data availability of a vast amount of data that the models can learn from. And the more you feed the data, the more you give the feedback loop, the more you tell the model this is wrong, the model learns from it. So I think somewhere it becomes, and as you said earlier, somewhere it becomes the responsibility of humans who are engaging with this data to keep correcting and editing. You spoke about supervised and unsupervised learning. So just talk to our audience a little bit about, they're starting the AI journey. And a lot of time what we see in large organizations, the initiatives are really around machine learning. So can you talk a little bit further about what you are doing in your organization with AI? Are you using supervised, unsupervised learning or machine learning kind of models? Or how can the audience learn from your experience?
Okay, sure. So supervised and unsupervised learning is like the basis of, most of the type of work that you do in analytics. So unsupervised learning would mean you have this group of customers, let's say, and you don't really know a whole lot about them, but you want to take them and cluster them into groups that have common attributes amongst them, so how to approach or market to them in the future. That would be unsupervised learning. Now if you want to do supervised, we're looking at sales performance from the past and trying to predict and forecast what kind of sales performance you might have in the future. That's understanding and having a history of data that you can use to build tools for predictions for the future. So really there's two different areas, but they're both very useful in their own way.
I always say that the supervised learning is when you label the data, and now the algorithm or the model knows what the data is and tries to find the similar kind of data and predict. And a lot of times you'll hear things where they label the data wrong. When algorithm looks at the female chefs and then they look at a male chef, it gets confused because the algorithm doesn't know, because it's been seeing all the female chefs. So it is possible that the algorithm starts mislabeling the data, even though you feed the right data. Unsupervised learning is more about just collecting data is not labeled, but they see the characteristics and start correlating and bulking the data in a format to see what the answer should be. Thank you, Wendy, for joining me today. Please visit CDO Magazine on the website for any additional interviews. We have a series of additional interviews. And if you have any questions about women leaders in data and AI, we call it WLDA. Feel free to contact Wendy or me for any additional questions. You can find us on LinkedIn or on our website. Thank you so much.
Thank you.